Hello and welcome to another Diablo 2 Resurrected video. Today I want to show you the Blade Fury Assassin on a budget build. I don't know if it's super budget, you can decide for yourself, but it's very budget, and most of these things you can find either in normal or in nightmare. But we are going to play in hell mode, and we are going to kill the Travincal Council and then maybe Eldritch and Shenk. Let's see. So let's get right into it. For the skills, I've put in 20 into Blade Sentinel, 20 into Blade Fury, and 20 into Blade Shield. Blade Shield and Blade Sentinel are now synergies to Blade Fury and vice versa, so this boosts up the damage of these skills. Then for Shadow Disciplines, I've put in 20 into Shadow Master, which is very helpful, and it's very tanky. And the rest of the points, I went 1 into Venom and the rest into Claw Mastery. Claw Mastery generally will give you more attack damage for your Blade Fury than Venom. This is a complicated calculation. I found some old forum posts which explain this, but just believe it for now. I've tested around with it and it seems that Claw Mastery does more damage. Unfortunately, the attack rating does not apply to Blade Fury right now, or this is also what old forum posts said, and I cannot confirm nor deny it. Let's just take it as is, because attack rating is the main issue with this build. As you can see, I only have 4191 attack rating because Blade Fury just gives plus 10% flat. It does not scale with level. I don't know if this is a mistake or if this is intentional. I hope they will change that, because even with something like Hisaru's boots and belt, which gives 852 attack rating, this is very low. So this is why we run an Act 3 mercenary with enchant. But first, let's get into the gear. For the weapon, I'm going with a Malice rune word in an ethereal Suvaya. Malice is pretty cheap, but it gives a good minus 25% to target defense and a 100% chance to open wounds. Both apply to Blade Fury. Also minus 100 to monster defense per hit, which should apply pretty often because there are a lot of shurikens going out with Blade Fury. And also this claw had 1-2 Blade Fury before I put in the rune word. Why ethereal? Because we have a ranged attack and our weapon will not degrade unless you use Blade Shield, because Blade Shield's damage, which is near you every about 1 second, does 3/4 of weapon damage, will degrade your weapon. So be mindful of that. If your weapon is low on durability, don't use Blade Shield. For the helmet, I just crafted the first. I just wear the first crafted helm I could get. I did the blood recipe to get Deadly Strike, because Deadly Strike applies to our Blade Fury. For the amulet, I have a Orc Curio. For the shield, I have a Rhyme Shield for Cannot Be Frozen and all the resistances. Cannot Be Frozen is not even that important in this build, because Blade Fury will always have the same attack speed. You don't need attack speed gear, and if you're frozen, you will also attack with the same speed as before. But it's nice to have if you want to move around and reposition yourself. I have a small rune word for all the resistances it gives, and as I said earlier, Hisaru's combination, also a Menald, which represents some kind of mana leech we need. It can be any other ring, of course, and any rare ring. This one is pretty nice. I don't know where I found it, but it has attack rating on it. It has plus life and plus resistances. Also, I crafted blood gloves. Again, I put on the first I crafted, and these are pretty okay. They have crushing blow, which also applies to your Blade Fury again, to life and fire resist. In my inventory, I have 6 20 to life 5 always charms. These are pretty expensive. Please don't mind them. This is a hero edited character, and it does not have the Anya quest. So these 6 charms represent 30 resistances that Anya quest gives through all 3 difficulties. And again, they have plus 20 to life on each of them, but you can find plus to life charms pretty easily on your playthrough, so this is still budget. As for the mercenary, I went with an Act 3 Iron Wolf because of enchant, which boosts our attack rating by 299% and also gives us fire damage. He has an Aratha's crown for resistances, but I guess he does not need it because he's stacked either way. I gave him a Saigons with a perfect diamond. Again, you don't need to socket it if you have like resistances on the helmet. This has an arm rune, which is not needed also. He has a stealth rune bird and a spirit sword. So you may ask yourself, why not use an Act 2 Blessed Aim mercenary? And the answer is pretty simple, because the mercenary on this budget build will die very often. As the Act 3 mercenary is ranged, it may not die as often, and also the enchant buff which he gives it out very early in the fight, and it lasts 888 seconds. Even if the Merc dies, we still have the enchant, which is pretty important for our attack rating. The Blessed Aim Merc from Act 2, sometimes his aura comes in pretty late, then he dies, the aura is gone, and we don't have the attack rating. So let's jump into Travincal. Also, I have on the offhand, or on the second weapon slot, I have just any claws with +3 shadow disciplines. These don't need to be socketed. You can chop +3 to shadow disciplines from Anya in Hell, I believe, from level 60 onwards. +2 is also fine. Anything that boosts up your shadow skills because you want to pre-buff with your offhand. Like I'm doing now, we do Fate, Venom, Shadow Master, and that's it. And as you can see, we have nearly maxed out resistances, and even way beyond more than we need fire resistances because of Fate. Also, what's pretty important is Cloak of Shadows, because it further reduces the enemy defense, and you want to use it as much as possible. Level 1 is only 8 seconds, that's why we also switch to our offense, which gives it a level 7 with 14 seconds duration. So then let's go and kill the council. So my shadow is jumping around somewhere, and these guys here in the front can be pretty annoying. For your main skill you want to use Blade Fury, but you can also use Blade Sentinel now and again. I don't find it too strong. And now my Merc buffed me up. As you can see, we do pretty okay damage. Don't forget to use Cloak of Shadows. It greatly helps with hitting the enemy. And the Shadow Master is just tanking so much damage. This is, of course, not the fastest way, but it's pretty cool that you're able to do this with budget gear, with a new build. And I guess this could be optimized a bit in terms of when to use Blade Sentinel. So it seems it's good supplemental damage. But that's it. A bit messy. I had some kills for Travincal which were a bit cleaner. Maybe if I stand back more and not go up front so much. But I think it's pretty amazing for a new build in this budget gear to be able to kill Travincal. And let's see how it does against Eldritch and Shenk. So we are in the Frigid Highlands, and let's buff up again. And let's see how good this budget build performs. And as you can see, it's pretty good damage if you ask me. This is on players 1 of course, but I wouldn't go higher as a budget build anyways. And I haven't used Blade Sentinel either here, just used Blade Fury. So Blade Sentinel is the trap-like shuriken, this one, that you can, I think, have 5 of. 5. Yep, 5. And Blade Fury is the shuriken that you throw at your enemies. So let's go to Shenk. Maybe we can use Blade Sentinel, like 1 or 2. Blade Sentinel, so the trap-like bigger shuriken, can pierce. It has a natural pierce, you don't need plus pierce equipment. Unfortunately, Blade Fury can't pierce. So keep that in mind, you don't need pierce equipment. So that was it for our little showcase. I hope you liked it. I really enjoy this build. I think it has a lot of potential. I also tested it with mid-range and high-end build. The videos will be coming up soon, so look out for that. If you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe, maybe ring the bell and like this video. I'd appreciate it. Thank you and goodbye.